All right. Well, welcome everybody to the October membership meeting of the Upland Chamber, sponsored by Janice Rutherford, our 2nd District San Bernardino County Supervisor. Very good. This luncheon is being filmed, so make sure you're smiling and waving at the camera when you need to. We'll put it on our Upland Chamber YouTube channel, labeled October Luncheon, sponsored by San Bernardino County 2nd District Supervisor Janice Rutherford. So if you missed something, you can go back and view it again. So just to mention some Zoom rules, we've got, now that the meeting has started, everybody's muted. You can raise your hand if you'd like to speak. And I would like to introduce our Upland board members and ambassador team. If you are here, please raise your hand. We'd like to acknowledge you. And thank you so much, Erin, and thank you so much for all you do for the Upland Chamber. Really appreciated. I'd like to also welcome our dignitaries. We've got Mayor Stone in the house. Whoop, whoop. We've got Stephanie Rose from Janice Rutherford's office. Whoop, whoop. And we've got Rosemary Horning, City Manager from the City of Upland. And whoop, whoop. And I don't know if we have anybody else on here. I can't see. Terry, if you know, then shout it on out. Nope, all good. All right, so now I'm going to just do a little plug on our Chairman's Circle like we always do. And Chairman's Circle is an investment into your business, partnered with the Chamber, and it's $1,500 minimum commitment. And once we get started, you can use those, well, for sponsorships at events, meal packages, and all of that. So contact the Chamber if you are interested. And not just that, we mention you every single meeting. And when we get together, you're going to be up on the TV screen. So let's do it now. We got Casa Colina Hospital and Centers for Healthcare, Holiday Rock, I saw Peggy on here, Burtec Waste Industries, La Via Bella at San Antonio, Susie's here, Doubletree by Hilton Claremont, not sure if Andrew's here, Assistance Insurance Agency, Lucky's in the house, Cutting Edge Builders, Inland Productivity Solutions, Eric Hansen's here, Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, Moga Law Firm, Ontario International Airport, Care for Women's Medical Group, La Via, oh, you're twice on here, La Via Bella at San Antonio. You must be twice as good, Susie. Wright Family Trust, Chino Commercial Bank, I didn't see Melba, Cornerstone Commercial and Personal Insurance Services, Phil was with us earlier, Langwasser and Company, Inc., CPAs. We've got Family Foot Center, Podiatry Center, Uptown Autocraft, Bridge Development Partners, Cardin Arbor View School, I'm not sure if Terry's here, Upland Collision Craft, Ralph, Sinorama, Ontario, David's out there somewhere, there you are. Homebridge Financial Services, Dave Powers. Right at Home, In-Home Care, I did see Dan on. Banner Bank, Cheryl Bailey, Kessler Lair Insurance. I missed my mic, let's see. Oh, sorry. It's so big of a list, it had 2 pages. American Financial Network, there's Amy right there, Main Street Garage, Southern California Edison, Inland Valley Recovery Services, Verve Weight Loss and Laser Aesthetics, and our newest member, I think, Red Hill Plaza, Mark Eltine. So thank you so much for your investment into yourself and partnering with the Chamber. Call the Chamber office for more information. Now I'm gonna hand this off to Peggy. Peggy, you wanna speak on our advocacy? What's going on?
Sure. Hi, everybody. There's not too much to report right now, but just a couple of reminders that we do have our government affairs meeting the 2nd Thursday of every month at 8 a.m. And then also you can check out what we're doing for advocacy up on the Chamber website. Under more, there's the advocacy tab, and you can go there and view stuff about our propositions that are coming up, letters we have up that you can send to our representatives, and other items going on in the Inland Empire Chamber Alliance. So check that out, and that's about all.
All right. Well, now it is time to introduce and announce our Ambassador of the Month. Who could it be? Matt Reynoso, I do know that, but I thought a picture was coming up of him. Terry, you're muted. I can't hear what you're saying.
So I was trying to tell you, I couldn't unmute me, is that Matt is having issues getting on.
Okay, so should we wait?
We're going to wait until we see Matt pop in.
Okay, well, it is Matt, and he's from Heartland Payment System. So congratulations, and we'll get back to you. So
wait,
now,
wait, because we're going to just hold on just a smidge, just because we're early in our presentation, following our timeline. So as we're waiting for Matt to get on, let's just talk about what's going to be happening up at our awards dinner. We are going to be finding out who won the Ambassador of the Year. So these ambassadors have been working hard all year long, doing all kinds of things, helping out the chamber. Yesterday, Tamara was in the office putting on labels on postcards for me. They help out at so many things, just doing those extra volunteer hours. So the chamber couldn't survive without them. And tomorrow, the ambassadors are getting together for a retreat. We're going to go up to a park, and we're going to have lunch, and we're going to have a meeting and plan out what we're going to be doing for the year. So I just wanted to let you know what an ambassador does. They're just really there as the face of the chamber. I know they're not as out there because of COVID right now, but again, ambassadors, we appreciate you so much, and we're looking forward to Tuesday night when we find out who that special ambassador of the year is, and hopefully Matt will be getting on shortly.
All right.
Roy, did you have anything else to add about the ambassadors as we're trying to stall?
No, just I'm very grateful for them. It's going great. You guys are really gung-ho, and I got to tell you, if you're looking to get really involved with the chamber and you're not an ambassador, you should look into that. It gives a great way to get into local businesses, to go visit them. So not only are you volunteering your time to help the chamber, but you're growing your business at the same time. And let's just admit, that's why we're all here, to grow our business. So, and to help the chamber, of course, because we love it.
Right, no, exactly. Vincent,
but it is all about you.
Vincent, did you have anything as our ambassador chair this year? Did you have anything to kind of add on the ambassadors?
Other than the focus as far as the chamber focus with okay, let me start over on that one. other than the focusing on chamber members for our own usage that we kind of highlight each meeting, and this month was personal care. So just highlighting the fact that people in the chamber, myself, between hair products, dentists, chiropractic, and haircuts, are the chamber members that I'm using personally this month. So that's about it.
We need to get a med spa. I'm working on it. Susie, we're working on it.
I heard LA County this morning. LA County this morning just is easing up on breweries and wineries, so that might help out too.
And I know what, just a couple days ago, Terry, our tattoos and facials and all of that can start again.
All the essential stuff.
So normally this is our State of the Chamber luncheon, and we're in person normally, and we go over that. So today we just wanted to talk about certain goals that we have for the chamber going forward, and you can see them up on your screen. And of course, immediately is to get into the red tier so we can open more businesses. We want to continue, and I think we're making headway this year because we've really focused ourselves, laser focused on this advocacy. So we want to be influencers. We want to influence legislation through our advocacy efforts to benefit our members and all business owners in California. I really don't think I should read them. They're up there. We're going to continue to work with the City of Upland. The City of Upland has been so supportive. Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you so much of our business owners, not just all over the city, but really concentrating on the downtown dining experience. I don't know if anybody's been over here for the weekends, but it's packed. So we appreciate that, and we'll continue to work to do whatever we can to help those businesses continue and to build our downtown as well. This is a really good thing that people are visiting our downtown. We're going to continue to provide educational information for COVID grants and loans. And I got to tell you what's great about our chamber is that not only do we help our members, and we're very focused on our members, but we help all businesses in the community. And with that, I think it's brought our chamber to a level that is not just that, but it's brought us to a level of recognition in the community. So we are a smaller chamber, but we are a very active, loud chamber with things that will benefit our business owners. And do know that we are fighting every day, pretty much it feels like it, through this COVID to get businesses going. And we're going to continue to be the ultimate resource, just like I said, for businesses in order to grow our membership numbers. But in the area, and we want to grow, we want to expand past Upland, which we already have because we are in different communities. So those are some of our goals, but our final goal really is to be able to once again meet and network in person, to build stronger relationships, to build your business, because it is all about you. It's all about our businesses. It's all about networking together, growing what we already have, and assisting every single business across the region that we can, and just being an ultimate resource. So I want to thank you all for helping us reach these goals, because without our terrific, awesome membership, we would never be able to reach the goals that we set. So thank you so much. Talking about the finances, our finances are, the chamber is in a good financial position. Even after weathering this storm of COVID-19, we are in a better financial position than we were last year at this time. And that is really due to good financial decisions made by the board of directors. Every meeting we're talking about really how to get the chamber further ahead and make those smart decisions on behalf of our members. So know that we're doing the best job that we can. It also is the hard work and dedication, the reduction of expenses through Terry and the staff. And I don't even need to tell you guys how awesome our staff is. I mean, it's just amazing. We're the best in the land. So they think outside the box. So to think outside the box to bring new revenue streams and to keep the chamber going, our examples would be our One Club Golf Challenge. We couldn't have our golf tournament. So what happens? Terry creates this out of the box thinking of our One Club Golf Challenge. And guess what? It was a great success. We met budget. We even exceeded our expectations by a little bit. But I mean, my goodness, in the time of COVID, great job. Great job. The other one is, like I said earlier, our installation is sold out. We are sold out. I can't even believe it. It's going to be such a great thing to be able to meet in person. But not just is our attendance sold out, our sponsorships, correct, Terry? Yes, our sponsorships are sold out. So just the support is just amazing. It's jaw dropping, if you ask me. And that might be a little dramatic, but if anybody knows me, I'm dramatic. So that's it. And our last thing that's coming, or our next thing that's coming up after installation, is our Big Queen Bingo, and that is filling up. So we knew we couldn't do it in person. We thought maybe we could, but instead of taking that chance, we just went straight to the Zoom, got in touch with Tommy Rose, and we arranged it all, or the staff did, along with Jeff. Jeff is the chairman of that committee. So thank you very much. So that is keeping the financial situation afloat. But the most important thing is due to the awesome and overwhelming response of renewal membership. We are so grateful that you see the value in the chamber, that during this time that everybody's worried about what the next step is going to be and what's going to happen, that you have put your trust and your confidence into the chamber to assist you through these difficult times. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know the chamber does. I get so emotional because I love this chamber. So it's more than just a networking and meeting group. And I think you all know that, and I hope you do, that we are in this together, like for real, in it together. So thank you very much. And if you have any questions, we have time to take a couple questions if anybody has them, or should they email you, or what, Terry? You tell me.
We have time to take a few questions. We just got word that the supervisor's running a little late.
All right.
So we could take a few questions. If not, Dory, then we'll move over to have some announcements from Aaron on our community events.
Does anybody have questions about the state of the chamber?
You guys do a great job. I do have a question. Are we pushing Tour de Foothills out till next year? What's going on with that?
Yes,
Go ahead, Terry.
okay, yes, we did move Tour de Foothills just because even though we did have our permits in place, we weren't able to get that signed off from the county health director. So we made the call to move it out to March the 27th. We've already let all of our sponsors know and our bike riders. So right now we're doing the marketing for March the 27th. We've already re-permitted with the city, and as it gets closer, hopefully we're moving through the tiers by then into the red and orange, that we'll be able to get the health director to sign off on that. But that's the only event that we've kind of had to have moved at this point, but March the 27th. So Aaron will be talking about one of the things that we're going to be doing to celebrate cycling in the month of October.
Indeed. Now, just to parry off of Dave's comment, the Chamber Chicks are pretty freaking awesome. They put this event together in a short notice. October 28th, that's the day after the installation dinner. We are doing our brand new annual Witches Brouhaha ride, new event. So here's the skinny. Peep this, yo, check it out. We're all going to meet at Wicked Cow. Show up with your bikes and your costumes. We're going to ride to the top of Euclid. Then we're going to turn around and ride back down, meeting at Wicked Cow for some hydration, some inebriation, and some food, and just hang out. So if you're interested in that, please be there. It sounds like it's going to be a good time. Even if you don't have any biker shorts or a bike to ride, be there for food and drinks. Wicked Cow will love you for that. Also, Halloween night, we're still doing the spooktacular trunk or treat that's being put on by the City of Upland's Parks and Recreation Department. Contact the city for details on that. We are looking for as many people as we can to meet at the school parking lots to pass out treats for the kids. Otherwise, expect some awesome tricks. I've participated in a few trunk or treat events in my life, and they are always a really good time. Plus, it's a great time to look at some really awesome cars. Back to you, Terry.
Thank you. Thank you. So Dory, why don't we go ahead and do some announcements as we're waiting for our supervisor.
All right. I just want to say, is it a coincidence, because I'm going to get it in here, that a Witches Brouhaha is on my birthday? Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Just had to get it in there because I love October.
No, Dory, I think that was a divine intervention.
Right? Right. So our announcements, not that you're not aware of it, but we are having our high roller event on Tuesday, October 27th. Vegas style, glamorous dress up, or keeping it a little simple if you're like, oh, I don't really want to dress up. Terry and I just brainstormed this weekend and came up with all kinds of examples. So if you want to represent, say, a casino, wear a Hard Rock t-shirt and some jeans. That's the Hard Rock casino there. Or you dress up like a mime for Paris. Who knows? So you just take it all in. You can be Elvis if you wanted to. You could be a mobster because that's who created Vegas. So take it to wherever you want it to go. And I just got to tell you, I am looking so forward to this night. I can't even stand it. It is going to be an outdoor dining experience at a beautiful venue, La Via Bella, San Antonio. I know we've all been there. And if you haven't been there, it is a special treat that we're doing this at night because it is beautiful. Right. So Susie, you do such a fabulous job. I'm really excited that it's at night because your venue is beautiful in the day, but oh my gosh, you guys just have gone over and above. So, and we're doing this not only to announce our businesses of the year, but to install and honor our board of directors that we did on Zoom back in July. And, oh, Nan, it says, and we'll be announcing our business awards. So it will be a COVID compliant event. So anybody concerned about that, you will know. I know we're all concerned about that, but we are taking every precaution to make it safe and COVID compliant. And please do not forget your face mask. And remember to get a COVID-19 test to help out our county. And you can come and be like, ooh, I already tested, I'm negative. So there we go. Oh, I have scheduled a test for Monday and will have my results back before the event. So I will have my ticket to ride.
So Dory, on that, all of you that have registered for the event, Caitlin is going to be sending you that email link so that you could directly register to get schedule a test. So you could all have your test scheduled, taken, and show up that day with your results showing that you are negative. And it does really help out our county.
Yeah. Then we can have a negative COVID party. Right? Yeah. And after that, like we just talked about earlier, our next event is our Big Queen Bingo, and it is December 2nd. That's a Wednesday. It's on Zoom, and it's featuring Tommy Rose. Now, anybody who went to the last one, Tommy Rose is hilarious, like hilarious. So I'm interested to see how that transfers via Zoom, but I'm sure it's going to be a blast. So we are looking for raffles, though, with a value of $75 to use as prizes. So let us know if you can donate, and you can also purchase your ticket to play 8 games for $20. So on the Chamber website, and going to be a fun time. It's going to be a blast. It really is. And then Aaron's already spoken about that. And
Sorry, quick interruption. I'm going to throw this over to Stephanie Rose because she would like to introduce somebody that is brand new to the county.
all right.
Stephanie?
Well, he's not brand new to the county. He's actually been a longtime county employee. Supervisor Rutherford's running a couple minutes late, so it's my privilege to introduce to you our new county CEO, Leonard Hernandez. He has been the county operational officer for, I think, 3 years, Leonard?
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. He has a really great relationship with the Board of Supervisors. They are very excited about his new role, and we wanted to introduce you all to him today. So I'm going to throw it over to Leonard to share a few words.
Thanks so much, Stephanie. And good, is it still morning? Yes, it is. Good morning, Upland Chamber of Commerce. I love the energy from the first couple of presenters. This sounds like a fun group. I appreciate what you do. I myself live out on the West End. I'm from Chino, been there for the last several years, married a local gal. She went to Chino High. And so good things come from the West End. Always appreciate what our businesses do for the county. Look forward to getting out and meeting. Since being appointed about a week and a half ago, we're still, in the thick of it with COVID and working our way through. We are very excited to continue to make progress on that front and work with the state and move ourselves from where we're at to opening more and more. That's a huge priority for the board and a huge priority for our county staff to make those strides. We've been working hand in hand with our city managers and weekly calls and making sure that everybody's updated. And the spirit of what our board has asked us to accomplish is to be as open as possible, as flexible as possible under the guidance of the governor. Not always easy to do, but I think the county team is doing a fairly great job of communicating, and our numbers are in a good place. There's still some things we have to accomplish there. I'm not sure if there's anything specific. I do want to thank Stephanie and Supervisor Rutherford for the opportunity just to say hi to all of you. I switched my settings so I could get a tile, and there's quite a few folks on this call that as I'm scrolling through, love some of the backgrounds. Some of you, the Aurora Borealis in the background there, and seeing some of the faces. I hope to meet some of you at different meetings as I make my way and get out. Obviously, we're doing this because we can't meet face to face sometimes. But I do look forward to getting out and connecting. Some of the priorities for us here at the county, obviously, is working our way through this, the pandemic and coming out successful and making sure that our businesses are thriving throughout. Working with our county budget and utilizing every resource that's available to the states and feds to help our local economy get back up on its feet. I just heard from the team that through our COVID compliant business partnership program, we have over 5,000 businesses countywide that have applied for the $2,500 stipend and that's been allocated. If you all know of any businesses that haven't applied for that, there's still opportunity and time to do that. And if you send your contact information through Stephanie to our team, we'll make sure that we get that information out. Again, any business that says they want to engage with the COVID compliant business partnership program is eligible to get $2,500. And any business that can show that they've taken steps to move their business outdoors, restaurants, other activities to follow the governor's guidance. There's additional funding available for them as well. So with that, I just want to say thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you all. I love what our communities do, and a lot of that effort is here at the grassroots level. Our chambers of commerce are so important to us. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. With that, Stephanie, I'll turn back over to you.
Thank you so much for joining us, Leonard. And I'll pass it back to Terry unless anyone has any quick questions for Leonard before he signs off.
So Stephanie, I think the main thing would be, should we wait for any county questions for when Janice joins us, or should we?
I'm here.
Oh.
I made it on.
Well,
Just popped on.
Thank you, Leonard.
Hey, no problem.
Dory?
Got it. All right. Hi, Jan.
Hey, how are you?
Good. So thank you so much for sponsoring our luncheon, and our guest speaker, Janice Rutherford, San Bernardino County 2nd District Supervisor. And I'm going to read a short bio for Janice. And it is my pleasure to introduce San Bernardino County Supervisor Janice Rutherford. Janice's passion for community service started when her Girl Scout troop did watershed cleanups and worked with children with developmental delays. By high school, she was organizing fellow students to lobby the legislature for education funding, and in college, she worked for a local assemblyman on alternative fuel vehicles and other transportation technologies. After grad school, she continued working for the legislature while helping her late husband operate a store at Disneyland and run summer musical theater programs for high school students. Volunteering with the local Boys and Girls Club and organizing her church community service projects led Janice to seek a seat on the Fontana City Council, where she served for 10 years, overseeing a doubling of the city's size and the creation of the successful Community Assistance Program. She married Steve Lim in 2005, and they have been blessed with 2 sons. Ethan, now a middle schooler who enjoys band, and Noah, 11, who enjoys soccer. In 2010, she was elected to San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors, where she has focused on improving transparency and ethics, guiding the county's pension system, and balancing economic opportunity with responsible environmental stewardship. So with that, I will hand it on over to you, Jen.
Thank you, Dory. I really should update that bio, because these days, neither of my boys are enjoying soccer or band, because those are both things that are very hard to do over the computer. But they are thriving in virtual learning, which is going on just down the hall. And if band starts, you will hear some trumpet in the background, but I think we got a couple hours before it's band class today. I appreciate your being here today to spend some time with me, and I will look forward to answering any questions you have about county issues or election stuff at the end. I've got a few things I want to cover. I'm at a disadvantage of not having heard what Leonard said to you, but I know the general topics that he covered, and I hope you were as impressed with him as we all have been at the Board of Supervisors. He has an incredible history with the county, and yet has maintained a level of enthusiasm for the services we provide and the 20,000 people we have working for us. He really is, I think, going to do some amazing things in this county. He's already really redesigned the administrative office, and he's got the challenge, of course, in just a couple short weeks of onboarding 2 brand new supervisors. We only know who one of those is going to be. The 5th district is having a runoff election. So things are going to be very different at the county in just a couple of weeks. 2 new board members and a new CEO. So we're going to be getting together in January, doing some new goal setting and team building sorts of things, and seeing what sort of direction we'll be able to take next year. And of course, we would love nothing more than to not have to deal with COVID at all next year, but that's not realistic. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of a COVID update and hopefully take a little different direction than Leonard did. I know he talked about the partnerships with the cities. I am pleased to say that all 3 cities in the 2nd district, including Upland, have been great cooperators and have testing at a level that the state is happy with. Now, I don't want you to take that as complacency. I'm going to talk to you about why you still need to get tested frequently, but overall, the city of Upland is doing fairly well in the testing department. So we know that COVID tends to be most devastating for older folks or folks with pre-existing conditions. What we are finding here is that of our new cases, 60% of them are people between the ages of 18 and 49, and 35% are in the 18 to 34-year-old category. So while COVID is more devastating to older people, it is more frequently spread and passed by young people. And so that's a message that we need to get out there, and we need to remind everyone of all ages to practice the basic safety and hygiene precautions. Please wear your masks, wash your hands frequently, and keep your distance from folks. A new study that came out yesterday indicated something new. We'd been saying if you were in close contact, so still 6 feet away from someone for less than 15 minutes. So if you pass someone in a grocery store or the cashier at the grocery store, that then there is virtually no risk. What they're finding now is it's even smaller increments of time that the virus can transmit. So even less than 15 minutes is still showing up to be a problem. So we just have to be very, very mindful of how we're interacting with folks and understanding and learning more about how the disease spreads. I will say that our goal way back in March, if you'll recall hearing it from all the government leaders, was we needed to flatten the curve, have capacity in our hospitals to be able to treat folks who have the disease. We've absolutely achieved that. We came close in July to being in a real problematic place, but our inpatient has dropped. We've got room in the hospitals. We've got room in the ICU. Now, we don't want people to have to go there, but the healthcare system is able to deal with the spread of the disease that we're having right now. And so I probably join many of you, my colleagues and I do, in our frustration that despite the fact that our healthcare system can now handle treating the disease, our governor is not changing his approach to getting the state reopened. And it is incredibly frustrating to us. I know that probably many years ago, I gave you all the speech about what counties are in California, but I will remind you they are arms of state government. We don't have powers on our own. We are meant to do what the state tells us to do. That's how counties are designed. And so it is very frustrating to us that we cannot get our businesses and our schools and our churches reopened. We think that most people are being very responsible, and most folks who operate those facilities have put in place safety precautions. And yet the governor just sees things very, very differently. So he has established a system, a path to reopening that relies on two metrics, our positivity rate and our case rate. Now, our positivity rate we're doing well on. We saw a decline last week. We went from 6.5% positive to 6.2%. So we're going in the right direction. And we're also seeing a noticeable increase in our testing volume, which is important because the numbers of people we have testing, the state plugs that into a formula to come up with what's called our case rate, or the number of cases per 100,000 of population. That's also declining. We are at 10.34 people per 100,000 who are positive. The fact that it's declining is good, but the state's requirement is that that number be below 7, and we're still above 10. So that is not encouraging. And you probably all saw the news that Riverside County had been in the same purple tier we are. They were able to drop down to red for a couple weeks. They've now moved back up into purple because with that level of reopening, people got a little lax, forgot some of the precautions. The disease spread a little too much. So what we are really, really encouraging is for people to get tested, and get tested often, and get tested even or perhaps especially if you're healthy. We have testing locations available to county residents free and all over the county. Stephanie has put into the chat a link that you can go to where you can find the closest testing locations. I've had several people come to me and say, well, I went to CVS and they won't give me a test without symptoms, or Kaiser will only test before these. The county test sites are available to everyone. They're free, and you don't have to be symptomatic. So I have one here in Rancho Cucamonga I've been going to on a weekly basis. I am in and out in less than 5 minutes every time I go without an appointment. This is an easy, easy thing to do. And it's no more of that tickle the brain with the swab all the way up. It's a little tiny, tiny swab, not even as big a Q-tip. You run it in your own nostril a few times, you plop it in the thing, you're in and out. If you are as eager to get reopened as I am, please go today and get a test, and then go tomorrow and get a test, and then go next Monday and get a test. And I'm not kidding. All those tests count separate toward our numbers and can drive our positivity rate down and our case rate down and get us to where we need to be. Now, I'm not arguing for the logic of that criteria. I'm just telling you that's the criteria we're stuck with. Those are the rules we got to play in. So let's all play. If you have a large business or large organization, the county would love to work with you to bring testing to you. We're working with some of the bigger locations in the county, like Victoria Gardens and Ontario Mills, to get testing locations there so people can just walk through when they're going out. We can do that with large employers as well. And also consider, if you're thinking of having some sort of gathering for Halloween or for any of the other holidays coming up, maybe encourage everyone to get tested before and tested again after. My results have always been under 24 hours. They're promised within 3 to 5 days, but you will get them relatively quickly. And of course, understand that even a negative test result, the moment you interact with other people, you now could potentially be re-exposing yourself. So it's not like a negative result is a badge of honor you can wear for a long period of time. But if you want to see us reopen, we've got to keep up the testing. And it's so easy and free to use. So take a look at that link that Stephanie has put there. And also, if you live or work with anyone who's high risk and you want to be tested frequently, this is an absolutely great way to do it. I have a member of my staff who lives with someone who's high risk, and so he's also going in every week and getting tested just as reassurance to the family. We are making the case to Governor Newsom that our county needs to be treated differently. If you took all of the Bay Area counties, and we did this, we took a map and we took all the Bay Area counties and we overlaid them onto a map of our county, and you can fit all of them in our county. And you could take like the 12 counties up there, and they all have different colors and different things that are open, and yet they all fit within the footprint of our county. But we're all treated the same way. So our folks who live out in remote desert communities or in the mountain communities where the rates are exceedingly low, their hands are tied because here in our dense urban areas, we have higher rates. So we have appealed to the governor. The board has passed a resolution. I had a conversation with the Secretary of Health and Human Services earlier this week where we asked, could we please look at those areas differently? They're very polite about it, and they say that they are considering it, but they've been considering it for several weeks now. And you know that the absence of a yes and the passage of time means no. So that's what I'm interpreting is their answer to that. But we continue pushing for that. I'll pause there and see if there are any questions specifically on COVID before I get into election stuff. Anybody have any comments on COVID or questions?
Yes, Supervisor Rutherford. I have two questions. One is when people, because I have businesses, 3 different stores in San Bernardino County, and if anybody gets tested positive for COVID, and then they go back and get retested, and then they go back and retested the third time, and if they're coming up positive for 3, same person getting positive test, does that count towards a number as a single incident, or is it 3 incidents?
No, every test is its own incident, whether positive or negative.
Okay, so the multiple times that they're being tested, that number is going up.
Yeah.
It really isn't the number of people going up, it's just the number of incidents.
Right, but I haven't heard of anyone getting tested positive more than once. Like if you get a positive test, that means you should go on personal lockdown for 14 days. You shouldn't be getting another test because you should not be seeing another human being.
Right, but I think a lot of employers are requiring that you have a negative test. So sometimes if you test again, all of it's not out of you after the 14 days. And so you're testing again positive because you're trying to go back to work.
Yeah, that could be. And I don't want to discourage that. Again, if more of us who don't have symptoms, feel healthy, and are negative get tested, we'll be able to counterbalance those numbers.
Okay, and the second part of the question is, if you are not a resident of San Bernardino County, because I live right over the border in Laverne, can you just get tested over in San Bernardino County, and how does that number count?
But you have a business here in San Bernardino County?
Yes, I do.
I'd give your business address.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Question.
Yeah.
As you go through the setting the appointment, I go get tested every week. I'm doing what you want.
Thank you.
But it asks for your health insurance information.
Mhm.
You want people just to not give that anymore? Because I'm getting explanation of benefits that go to my insurance company. My insurance company, of course, denies it, and then I assume that the county is paying for it.
You know what's interesting is when I've been tested, half the time they ask me for my insurance information and half the time they don't.
Yeah,
You're not required to provide it. You can just say, I'd rather not give that information. You also don't even need to make an appointment. I appreciate that you are, but you can just walk up again. You're in and out in just a few minutes.
Yeah, no, it's less. It was 14 minutes from the time I left my office to the time I was back yesterday.
Beautiful.
I have a comment. This is Rosemary Horning. We have a testing on October 26th here at our Gibson Senior Center from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if you want to be local, I mean, there is a day on this coming up Monday that you can go here locally.
Rosemary, do we need to make appointments for that?
We would prefer you make appointments, but I think they'll take walk-ins as well.
Jan, so based on, like you said, the governor's set standards, do we know where he's getting those, like the number 7, where that came from? Or because it kind of seems like he keeps changing it a little bit. Like we reach it and then it's like, well, you know what? I'm gonna move the carrot a little bit more. Is he explaining what science he's using for that?
It does seem rather arbitrary.
He holds press conferences, I think, every day at noon where he explains stuff and he says that this is supported by his public health staff.
So does he provide any of that documentation?
It changes all the time. So yeah, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Frustrating. Any other COVID questions?
So the only other question is do you think that possibly in 2 more weeks that we could be looked at again? I mean, where are we looking at a timeline when we would possibly looked at to be moving to the red? Or are we still total 3 weeks away?
So here's the problem with that. It's Tuesdays that the numbers are calculated by the state, and we hit one of the numbers this week, but not the other. Now, again, under there, frequently changing the rules, if we do 2 weeks with both numbers good, would they then look at this 3rd week and say, oh, you had half of it, so that's okay? They might. I don't know. I doubt they know. So let's say it's in 2 weeks. So let's say on November 3rd, we get the clearance to move to red. Well, what do you think is going to happen the weekend of October 30th, 31st, November 1st?
Yeah.
So within 2 to 14 days after that, so between November 3rd and November 14th, positives are going to go up. So even if we move to red, then I would suspect we would be back in purple the week before Thanksgiving. And then what's going to happen 2 days to 2 weeks after Thanksgiving? And then as soon as that goes away, then we've got Christmas. I'm not counting on it till next year.
All right. Makes sense.
And as our contact tracers talk to people who've tested positive and run down where the virus was probably acquired, almost 70% are family gatherings. So, and are you not going to see your family on Thanksgiving? I'm going to figure out how to see my family on Thanksgiving.
So
We're all showing up with a negative COVID test.
It sounds to me like a recipe for disaster and an exercise in futility.
Yes, Aaron, it is.
That's just me.
No, it's not just you.
Oh,
Right,
I
because
got
it
one
just
right.
seems like the next gathering after Christmas will be New Year's, and then you've got, then maybe a lull with Valentine's Day, but who knows?
Oh
Then,
no, on Valentine's Day, it's gonna get spread all over the place.
Then St. Patrick's Day, everybody's gonna be woo woo. Yeah, I mean, every month we'll just say we're back in
Look, when this first started back in March, we had scientists telling us that probably 70% of the population was going to get COVID.
So you can't always trust the science. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying I think we're on our path to that. I think up to 70% of us are going to get COVID. It's going to keep spreading. Now, the good news is that for most people, our healthcare system knows how to treat them now. But sadly, there are people for whom this is deadly, and there are people for whom the effects are really long lasting and we don't fully understand them. So I don't think we can be nonchalant and just say, go expose myself, you know, like we used to do with our kids in chickenpox. Oh, yours has chickenpox? Have a party. Here's the neighborhood kids. It has a serious enough consequence for enough people that we still have to be very, very careful. But we understand there's a real price being paid for that in mental health, in economic productivity, in educational quality, in a lot of ways. And at some point, we've got to figure out where that balance is. And hopefully at the beginning of the year, we start having some vaccines that can help us. Maybe instead of getting to that 70% of the population having had it, we can get some people to get immunity.
Didn't Governor Newsom just say that he's not going to let those vaccines be given to the people in California because he's putting together a committee that's going to study them to make sure that they're okay to do?
I don't know. I haven't heard that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yes, that is what he said.
The
quality control.
The other things that he said is his team is focusing on additional help for LA, San Bernardino, and Riverside counties, recognizing that all of our numbers, because of our density, are really difficult. So they're going to be trying to spend some additional resources here to help increase testing. They also want to provide resources to folks who test positive and need to isolate. So they're going to figure out a way to start paying for hotel rooms and foods for people in these disadvantaged communities who need to isolate but can't right now because their living conditions. And they're hoping that will slow it down. And then the secretary also told me they want to help with additional education and enforcement. And then he started talking about something else. I said, wait, go back and talk about that enforcement thing again. And so they are talking about sending additional teams into our areas to focus on those businesses that are defying orders that have state licenses. So if you are subject to a state license and aren't obeying the rules, the state plans on cracking down even more. I thought I saw another hand, or?
Yes, question is about the homeless community around. Speaking about the COVID-19 and all what's happening, is there anything more to be done about homeless? Because homeless is going like, we still see it even in our area, like in Upland area, in the Memorial Park around that area. There's a lot of homeless community around there. So anything can be done right now? Is there any fund to help with those homeless community and also with the COVID?
The state has given us a lot of money, and we have been doing a lot with homelessness. Project Roomkey has taken hotels, or usually motels, and converted them for either to keep the homeless people on a short basis or converting to single-use apartments. We've got some trailers that we've set up, a little trailer park at one of our county facilities so that homeless people who've tested positive but don't need to be hospitalized can go there to isolate. So we are trying to do a lot to support the homeless population. We haven't seen COVID numbers go rampant in the homeless population, which was something we were very concerned about early on. That has not happened. Now that might change in the winter if they spend a little more time together rather than spread out. So far, we've been fortunate in that regard.
Is it something more the city has to do in that side? Because I guess as a county-wise, you go around all the county. So is it something more the city of Upland in this case? If there's more homeless side in our area, there's a bit more spread around to contain them, or how's that?
We don't have enough supportive housing for homeless people in any city, in the county as a whole, in our country as a whole. We just don't have it. So yes, but I'm not going to fault the city for not having it now, because nobody has it now. How do we afford that? it's expensive and it's difficult. And so there has been a lot of COVID money directed directly toward that. The state is spending additional resources. It's one of those things that it's never going to be enough. And recognize that most of the homeless population is experiencing mental illnesses and addictions that make them not willing to get the help that's available. If you've got someone on the street right now who says today, I want help, I'd like to be in shelter, we can get them into shelter very quickly. Most of them won't do it. Doug?
I was going to say, who do we contact for that, Janice, if we did find somebody like that?
The Sheriff's Hope Team is the best contact. Stephanie can put some information in the link on that.
Thank you.
Janice, I really appreciated, as part of what you said, that you pointed out the mental health impacts of our response to COVID. CDC, the second quarter compared to last year, anxiety up 3 times as much, depression up 4 times as much. This is coming from the CDC. There's also stats that, domestic violence, child abuse, these things are up. And so it's a huge deal. And I'm so thankful that you are incorporating that as the bigger picture in how we're dealing with this. So
yeah, it's going to have some real long-term consequences.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, speaking of long-term consequences, should we move on to talking about the election?
Yes.
I just wanted to talk to you about how the election is being conducted here in our county and some of the ballot security issues, because I know there's a lot of questions out there. And so I'll just run through what we're doing and how we're doing it, and then we can talk about anything specific. So the Register of Voters has mailed more than 1 million ballots out in San Bernardino County. We had 1.09 million registered voters in the county. That's up from about 888,000 in 2016. So we have grown quite a bit in our voting ranks. As you know, the state required that we mail a ballot to every registered voter. And this year, ballots that are postmarked by Election Day can be received at the registrar and counted 17 days past the election. So it still has to be postmarked on Election Day, but a little over 2 weeks for it to be delivered. Now, most are delivered within about 3 days, and that was the previous law, but they have given a bigger window this year. In March, in the primary, 75% of the state's voters cast mail ballots. In our county, it was 66%, but we are expecting that number to go up. When you hear on the national news concerns about voting by mail, understand, please, that those concerns are for places not California. A lot of states don't have the robust vote by mail system that we have. So they don't have the infrastructure, they don't have the trained personnel, they haven't gone through this process. I think you can appreciate that when we have, and we're used to having 70-ish% of our votes cast by mail, we've got a system in place to deal with that. So we don't have the kind of concerns that so many other states have that haven't done it this way before. That said, we are expecting even more ballots that way, and the preliminary numbers show that out. As of October 20th, we have had 173,856 vote ballots or mail ballots returned. That is almost a 16% turnout, weeks and weeks before Election Day. Now, that would seem to indicate we're going to have record turnout, but of course we have no idea if that's people who would have voted anyway. We won't be able to know truly until we look at those numbers in retrospect. But 16% already, and I will tell you, overwhelmingly, those are Democrat ballots. Democrats are voting at phenomenal rates. And about 95% of those ballots have already been processed. That is, their signatures have been verified and will be counted. Every mail ballot has to be signed on the outside, and that signature is verified by a human being, not by a machine, at our registrar's office. If the first person looking at it thinks there's a discrepancy, it goes to a second person. If the second person thinks there's a discrepancy, there's a review process on up. And the law allows that the voter be contacted by the registrar and given the opportunity to say, yes, that was my ballot, no, that wasn't my ballot, or I want to come in and cast a different ballot. So there's a verification process. We do have same-day voter registration. So if someone wants to walk into a polling place having not been registered, they are allowed to do that. Again, there is a verification process for that. Normally, people mail their ballots and have no concerns about this. This year, because of some of the drama that we're hearing from other states, a lot of people have decided to be concerned about physically mailing their ballots through the Postal Service. So we have placed 73 drop boxes in the county where people can securely drop those. And we have registrar staff going out and collecting those ballots on a regular basis. And that pickup schedule will be more frequent as Election Day approaches. We're also going to have 210 polling locations open from Halloween through Election Day. So that's, instead of just one day of a polling place, you've got a whole week. And early voting is already open. If you want to go to the registrar and vote in person, that is doable. And we will have 6 other early voting sites that'll start next Monday being open. Toyota Arena is the only one on the west end. So if you want to start voting as of Monday in person, you can go do that at Toyota Arena. The others are sites in the desert or in San Bernardino. All of our polling locations will have both COVID precautions and security precautions. So our poll workers are being provided with the hand sanitizers and the masks and the shields and the gloves and all of that. Voters are asked to wear masks, will be provided one if they don't have one, but no one is going to be denied the right to vote if they show up without a mask. All the poll workers have been trained in social distancing, and both our sheriff's departments and our city police departments have been talking and meeting about providing polling place security, and as well as security for ballot delivery and our ballot storage and all that. So we're feeling fairly confident about that. I have heard people concerned about, I got 2 mail ballots, and I've tracked down a couple of those. Most usually it's because there's a slight variance in the address. Say you have Unit A versus Apartment A. Well, both Unit A and Apartment A received a ballot to the same person. Our registrar has a system as they verify those signatures to make sure the same person isn't voting twice. So even though they got 2 ballots, they cannot cast both of those ballots. And please let people know this, because casting both ballots is actually a crime, and our registrar will work with the DA to prosecute fraudulent voting. So don't encourage anyone to be cute or think, woohoo, I got 2 ballots, I can vote twice. There is the possibility of prosecution, but there is system in place. So if that happens, if people get confused, those will get caught. Those ballots will not be counted. We are required to verify the presidential vote by December 1st and all the other elections by December 3rd. Our registrar is anticipating having everything verified by December 1st. And I think probably when I spoke to you before, I talked to you about one of the provisions in Measure J. That is the complete rewrite of the county charter that the Board of Supervisors has placed on the ballot. And it has a measure, or a piece of it that's significant because of those verification dates I just talked to you about. Because the election has to be certified 30 days afterwards. Right now, when we swear in our supervisors, we swear in the first Monday in December, which can fall before that 30 days. So you could come to a situation in this county under our current charter where we have to swear in a supervisor before the election has been certified. And you can imagine the chaos that that could bring about. So it's one of the reasons that we need the revisions that are included in Measure J. So anybody have any election questions or voting questions that I can answer or address for you? Wow, you guys are easy. That covers my prepared comments, but I'm happy to talk about anything else or answer any other questions that you might have.
The only thing I have to say is that will Stephanie be telling us or getting us the locations, or how do we look up the locations to go vote early?
Yeah, she can put that in chat as well.
Thank you.
Any further ambition other than being a supervisor of the county? Further ambition from your side? We love you.
I appreciate that. I got to tell you right now, my ambition is to be done with elected politics. I have loved my service. I have accomplished so much of what I set out to accomplish. I love helping people solve problems. I love helping government work more efficiently. I've been doing this a really long time, and the tenor of our public discourse and our electoral discourse has changed to the point where I'm no longer interested in partaking in it. It's time for a new generation to rise up and hopefully continue with the amazing system of government that we have in this country. But we've got to figure out how to do that with modern communication, because we're absolutely failing at it now, absolutely failing. So I have great plans for things that I want to do to continue serving my community and being involved and active. But no, I'm not going to be on a ballot again.
That would be a loss actually to us. So we need you around.
I appreciate that very, very much. I don't want this to sound like complaining, but serving an elective office takes a lot out of a person, requires a lot of sacrifice from a family. And I will have been at this in an elected position for 22 years and working for an elected official for another 10 beyond that. So I feel like I've paid my dues and done my contribution. And now all of you who haven't done it yet, it's your turn.
Thank you.
Supervisor Rutherford, this is Rosemary. I just wanted to commend your staff over at the county. I mean, they've done a fantastic job with COVID-19. I mean, we do have these coordination meetings once a week, and actually there's different layers of that, from the public information officers to the actual health providers to the county staff and the finance offices. So everybody's engaged and really interested in, you know, moving us to the next level and encouraging all the cities within the county. And our chamber has done a great job getting messaging out about testing and frequently testing. I think I was on a call this morning that just said, they said, you know, that's helping the county in a big way overcome some of the other characteristics that the governor set forth in terms of moving us to the next level. So again, thank you very much to your staff for a great job.
Thank you, Rosemary. I appreciate that. We have worked really hard to try to make this a team effort. Chairman Hagman's been doing regular phone calls with the mayors. The city managers have been meeting regularly. We're really trying to partner as well as spread the funding around that comes from the CARES Act so that our entire county is well cared for.
Hey, Janice, I have a question.
Yes, Linda.
Can you tell us a little bit about Measure J? I've had people ask, and I'd really like to be able to get a better explanation.
Sure. So Measure J is a complete rewrite of the county charter placed on the ballot by the Board of Supervisors. Our charter was written in 1913. So this is a complete rewrite because a whole bunch has changed since 1913. A lot has changed in our government. For example, the charter still has pages and pages of outdated language of what the state used to require for budgets, used to require for courts, requires that our meeting notifications be sent by telegram. Do telegrams even exist anymore? I have no idea. There's, of course, no reference in there to modern electronic communications. There's also no reference to women because in 1913, women couldn't vote, couldn't run for office, couldn't serve on the board, couldn't serve as chair of the board. So most of it is just updating and modernizing language like that. There's a provision we're adding to require our public health officer to appear before the Board of Supervisors to explain any general public health orders that are issued so that we would have transparency about what general public health orders mean and the opportunity for the board and the public to ask questions of the public health officer. Doesn't change the authority. That authority comes from the state. So we're not asking, we can't ask for any additional authority over that person, but the opportunity to have a transparent process we think is important. It allows for the board to call a special election if there is a vacancy in any of the countywide offices or Board of Supervisors. Right now, we're not allowed to call an election. We have to appoint, and if we don't get the appointment done within 30 days, the governor gets to appoint. We don't think the governor should have any involvement in our local elected offices, so we'd like the ability to either appoint or fill by special election. It closes the term limit loophole. Right now, our law says there are 3 consecutive terms, which means the system is open to be gamed. So if you want term limits, you want it clear what that is. So we're asking for the language to just say 3 terms, period.
Right.
We have a complicated system right now on how our salaries are calculated. We have to do a survey of 3 other similar counties and then do the average of that. Well, since we set that system in place, all 3 of those counties, San Diego, Orange, and Riverside, have changed to just having their salary be a % of what the state pays a judge. And so we want to do ours the same way. So we're suggesting 80% of a judge's pay would be the supervisor's pay. That's what they do in Orange County. That's what they do in Riverside County, which are comparison counties. That's what they do elsewhere in the state. San Diego pays 90% of a judge's salary, so we didn't go with that higher. We went with the lower. And then there's all sorts of other little language in there, allows us to hire a CEO. Again, back in 1913, that wasn't the form of government. So we'd like that to be explicit now. So a lot of cleanup and general good government language in there.
Thanks, Janice.
Thank you.
All right.
Could
Are
I
there any
ask
other questions?
a quick question? Any input on 19 that you might have?
Tell me the subject of that one again. I'm going to look up on my cheat sheet here real quickly.
It changes tax assessments for transfers of inheritance rules.
This is a tough one because the first half of it is to allow seniors to transfer their Prop 13 base rate anywhere in the state. And I authored that ordinance here in the county to allow our county to accept those transfers. So I love that idea. But in exchange for that, there is basically a tax hike for some fire services involved in that. And that's at a statewide level, not at the local level. So it's one of those, if you want something good, you got to get something bad. I voted no.
Okay. We're all good. Well, thank you so much for all of that information. It was so helpful. Thank you very much. And for the job you do.
If you come up with any other questions, you all know how to find me, call me, or reach out on social media. Happy to answer them for you.
Well, thanks for being here. And the board rocks. We have a great board of
Thank you very much. Have a good day, y'all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Very good. Well, I just want to thank everybody for attending and for the little quote of the day on chances and riskiness. Just listen, take the risk or lose the chance. I really like that one. That was a good one. So we all need to take risks on ourselves. Bet on yourself, because it's never a gamble when you bet on yourself. And thank you guys so much. And you have a wonderful day. And Kenny will play you out.
Great week, everyone. See you Tuesday.
Yes, see you on Tuesday. Super excited. Vegas, baby.